roguelikes, as many of them as exist, absolutely love just having this massive late or post-game dungeon. We're about to enter into a dungeon that has a grand total of 100 floors. Praise goodness that we don't have to do them all at once. But I've seen videos on a couple of games like this where stuff is just ridiculous. Anyway, it's time to work the shaft, everybody. I should probably take a look at my gear and see where we're sitting. I hope you like the music here, because you're going to be hearing a lot of it. Is this thing maxed out? I mean, obviously it's not, because it could have more weapon hit points, as it were. Yeah, so it's pretty close to full. It's got a massive set of abilities. I remember that Xiao doesn't have a healing ability on her thing because, yeah, the exclusivity between that and Drain, and also its other killer stats are pretty garbage. I should have like farmed more money to prep for this, but I did not do any such thing. We are just doing this live. We're doing it raw. It's fucking raw. We're taking this thing out of Goro's hammer because, honestly, Goro sucks and I don't like him. He's not fun to play. And Ruby, you are very nearly maxed out, except for being a little bit short on ability to defeat water enemies. God, look at how much nothing Ungaga has with his elemental affinity for his spear. Meanwhile, Osmond here is not nearly at max attack, and honestly, there's a bunch of other stuff that he could stand to have maxed out too, but hey. We'll get there, probably. And if we don't, well, that will be very unfortunate, won't it? But, of course, Sword Boy is going to probably be our main DPS, because he's... Oh, fuck. What's my... Okay, yeah, I have to remember my controls again, because it's been a minute, clearly. But circle to lock on. And X to do stuff. Or the cross button, as you may know it. So, this dungeon, I should probably explain, is mostly recycled enemies. Not all, but by and large, there's a lot of them. It's enemies that we've seen in previous parts of the game, and now some of you might be saying, well, Delia, that was effing years ago. You were probably under a different username back then. Well, to that I say, then, I've got a YouTube channel where I keep logs of all this stuff, so if you want to watch me be not necessarily very good at this game for however long that series is, then just go and find it again. You can type !plug and you can go click through to find all the stuff that I've ever done. It will have links to all of my old side projects there. Oh yes, that anti-curse amulet is doing real good now. Because that can't remove it after it's applied. In any case, we did get the silver key. We are probably going to try to rush down most of this as much as possible. Just because, again, 100 floors. Do I need to repeat that? Because I will if I either have to or if you think it's funny. But yes, we got a couple of new enemies. Technically, the Sill is a new enemy, although we've seen one of them before. The masked dudes, the Nakapkas, they're pretty generic sort of defense enemies. These Gemrons, these are the first interesting new thing that we've seen here, because we will see a different version of them on every set of 20 floors where there will always be different elements. They are quite simplistic enemies, as you can probably tell. I guess they're just sort of there to give it a little bit of local flavor. Technically, the Demon Shaft is split up into 5 sections of 20 floors, each one affiliated heavily with a single element. And by affiliated heavily, I mean honestly not that much. It's mostly just a matter of color. Ooh, and there's a crystal eyeball that is used to enter into the backside of each... I could phrase that better, but I won't. Enter into the backside of each floor. That is our backroom key this time. No, I don't know anything about that movie. Don't ask. Because I won't have any useful answer whatsoever. Hooray! Okay, well, the only other chest there is going to be for the map, so who fucking cares? Let's just go ahead and put this in. And it flips around like a bookshelf in one of various things. And here we just want to ignore every monster because obviously these guys are affected by permanent stamina, and that is not great. We're just here to basically mine for gold. And maybe, if we're lucky, pick up a couple of other little various doodads along the way. Some of them might actually be valuable. Not a whole lot, but hey. 2 sea killers, though, I think lets us free up one of those aquamarines that we were using elsewhere. For Ruby, perhaps? Let's take a look. Yeah, you're the one that I can do this with. And then I can give that to someone who actually matters a little bit. Are you... Yeah, this weapon is totally maxed. The only thing it's theoretically missing are some abilities, but I don't even know if that's actually the case. Because, to be honest, my eyes are glazing over a little bit at all that. There, you can probably take a little bit more advantage of that than most other folks here. Pick that up, get another Mage Slayer. We can actually buy those from one of the early shops, I think, so they matter less than most items back here. Less than most of that type of attachment, anyway. Listen, we're just here for things that we can sell and for hopefully gemstones. That's all that matters to us. And we didn't get shit. Oh well. Honestly, if I want to farm that badly, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. The way that I've shown off many times before. Oh. Yeah, I can't sneak past him. This is a little too burly. Around we go, and... yeah. Like I said, most of the time we're basically just gonna rush down an ending here. Yeah. Good reason why we are, right? Many such cases... Whoa! Fuck! Yeah, do I have a... yeah, just auto-assign that. But that did cure our admittedly kind of meaningless curse status. I mean, there are circumstances under which that matters, but right now, not so much, because we don't have any other weapons for anybody. Off we go. Now we got a Vulcan here. These guys will probably be pretty tough in terms of defense. Oh, yeah. Nice, sturdy. Taking out a ton of our durability there. Like, what was that? -5 for a hit? There's a lot of things in this game that can get on one's nerves, and that's one of them. Ah, yes. Good old weapon durability. A lot of people are like, oh, it's fine. I mean, it could be worse. I just hate the idea of having to fucking babysit my gear. Oh yeah, and the mummies can occasionally revive themselves. I believe that's also true of the Master Jackets, and they could when you first encounter them as well, so... This guy is not weak to light as I thought he was. You can see his drop is not terribly impressive. Hooray, he dropped some bread that's worth like 2 gold. Oh, shit. Well, this thing is no longer maxed out, I guess. Lost 2 points of speed, and of course it lost a point of dealing with fish. Lost a few points of dealing with mimics as well, so that's great. Honestly, I probably should just stand on those with, like, a default weapon, because that status of equipped weapon change thing is just the worst. You can get some things that are very annoying with that, but that is just not really reconcilable, you know? Oop. He's trying to sneak up on us. He's not really doing that terribly well, but he is getting real close. Let's go for that other chest, because it's over there. And because I don't learn my lesson. We lost half our money. Boo. Oh, yeah, I should have known that was a silver key, because I could see the other gate over there. Hello. Earth D, you need to pay attention to the fact that... learn to read a map. Idiot. Yeah, see? Perfectly fine for us to wait a little bit, and... yeah. Now our speed is back up to full. Technically, we could max this thing out by putting the sun in there, and I think for now I'm going to leave that there. Only to be taken out later when I decide to get actual items that can increase the stats. I hear one of the annoying robot guy. Yeah. There's Arthur. We don't want to deal with that guy. Also, he's loud as fuck. Oh, boy. You can hear him a mile off. Wow. Ooh, another eyeball. Another chance for some more loot for us. Alright, so the White Fang has a unique effect on it in this dungeon. Some of the enemy stats, obviously, well, the fact that they're all beefed up, but some of them have had some other interesting changes applied. Like this guy becoming immune to all elements. So, isn't that lovely? I hate it, and whoever decided that that was the thing that needs to happen is kind of an asshole. But I guess they were like, oh, well, it's late in the game, so it, you know, it needs to be challenging, and then completely and utterly disregarding what constitutes good challenge. Alright, so we're going to pick that one because it's the most irritating problem. You know, Curse doesn't really affect us very much because we don't have actual weapons, and the explosion is powerful, but not so severe as to be an issue. And we got a Brave Arc. That is just a stat stick, really. Because it does not have an inbuilt ability, which is unfortunate because it evolves straight from a weapon that usually does. You bastards. You bastards. My money. They just keep robbing me. Well, as long as we actually pick up decent items in a few places, then I suppose we can just live with it. And the monster has been stamina'd. Means it's time to just dodge everything for a bit. At least whenever we see any of them. I want to go get the compass because... Or pardon me, magical crystal. Because if we're going to go explore the back area, we should be able to know where the enemies are to dodge them and also know where the good routes are, or are not, as the case may be. Alright. Once again. Yeah, see? Did not matter. And we get the Blessing Gun. That's another weapon for old Hoverpack buddy here. But I think that actually has something of value to like break it down, and by that I mean it's got a decent chunk of elemental affinities here. Unfortunately, we've also got approximately but all in order to slot into any of its things. So we can't really get the most out of that right now. And I guess we'll at least queue it up for a level. It would be nice if you could kind of stack those, but what game would usually let you do that, right? See, thankfully that's just right in place already. Down we go. I am going to take a quick look at everybody's current optimum weapons and see if anybody actually needs any of that anti-mage ability. And yeah, it looks like only Osmond does, really, so... I honestly don't think that it's really worth doing that. I can just get that for him elsewhere. But I will check and have a little bit more of a consider afterwards. After we're done looting this area. Oh, we're about to take a huge punch. Get out of the way. That was almost quite painful. Oh, this back room here is much more valuable. Holy shit. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, we might be about to die for... Yeah, those enemies do so much damage. That's why you just want to not even bother trying to fight anything back here. If you need experience that badly, you do the thing that you can do with the shipwreck. I think Beast was one that I needed to recuperate for the Chronicle Sword. I'll double check that in a second. Ooh, Pearl, very nice. That'll get us some lightning on somebody who needs it. I don't think anybody requires more anti-undead, which means that maybe nobody needs to have the Pearl. Okay, yeah, so... I don't even remember what Topaz gives us. I think it's stone or something. Appears to not be Mimic, that's for sure. Oh, the Ruby will give us a boost against Mimics. I probably should, at least on paper, save that for someone else, but I think that fire is the element that we've most maxed on everybody just because there's so many gemstones that give it to us, and we had just crazy luck getting those, too. Yeah, literally everybody is at max fire right now, so the value of that is not terribly high. How's our inventory doing for being packed? It's pretty packed. So, we want to get out of here and then deal with that. Don't drop into Gallery of Time. I think we'd be able to just leave from there, but it would be kind of a waste, you know? All this stuff. building the bait for the fishing minigame. I got plenty of stamina drinks. I don't know that I actually need that many of them, but hey. Grab a couple of those. Get over here. Let's see, just sort of think about whether or not I want to dump that. I have to re-examine its stats real quick and see for sure what is the deal. Alright, we got some of that stuff. Might be useful to feed it to Goro's stupid garbage hammer. Anyway, let's store the rest of our change here. Because I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I apologize. Look at me making an ass out of myself again. As always. What we got here? Got a bunch of these. Is it worth messing with those? And also, does everybody have big bucks yet? The answer there is no. Although that would just kind of be like, hey, do you want to play as Goro, you fool? To which the correct answer is... What? Why? Why would you ask someone something like that? Are you okay? Okay, that does nothing. I guess a part of this probably was that I intended to actually farm some stuff before I did this, and I just never did. That sounds like the exact sort of thing that I would do. Well, whatever. I will concern myself with it in the future if things go sideways enough. Oh, back to it. Back to getting shafted. Only have been recording just about half an hour, and we're only this deep, so if I haven't pointed out already, this is probably going to be a multiple stream endeavor, and if there's any need for clearer proof of that, well, good lord. Ah, yes, we got Jackal, one of those games where you, I don't remember what you do in Jackal, actually. So this joke is not really that good. But it is also a weapon that is unimpressive. Honestly, though, it's got a little bit of everything, so I might still put it to use. Just for the purposes of getting a couple of tiny upgrades for people. Plus, it gives a little bit of stats, I guess. I'm just not going to feed this thing any of my good gems. Are you kidding me? That would be so stupid. However, I can actually use this to determine again what this affects. Ah, yes. Sky and Undead. Something that... God, we must have gotten an absolute crap load of those at some point, too. Ah, yes, and the card soldiers making that goofy little death animation. I wish there was a faster way to do this, but... You know, early PS2 game. Does that count as an exploit? Are we doing something that we probably shouldn't be able to? I don't know and don't really believe so, but hey. Somebody who's a little bit more knowledgeable about this game's inner workings, or, well, the dev's intent, I guess, might know otherwise. In a weird way, it feels like it probably should be deemed an exploit, but also, without it, the game is significantly more annoying, so, like, I'd rather not consider it that, but hey. How much of it is truly my place to say, anyway? Oh. Say, can I even deal damage to you? I can somehow get the kill. That's actually kind of incredible. So let me grab the money. There, I just wanted to empty the sort of blip that it's got going. There was otherwise kind of no reason for me to do that, but also... Hey, why not, right? Hey, get out of there. Get out of there, man. Yeah. Do I have the key. Alright, so I'm gonna actually do the thing that I kept saying I was gonna do this whole time of we're gonna rush this down. So let me actually try doing that, huh? Time to move on to ignoring the enemies until such time as we kind of cannot. You know what? I'm just going to upgrade this without throwing stuff into it. Just get it to being a thing that can give some extra elements to a weapon. That'll be good enough for me. Oh. Go over there. Oh well. I forget if it's possible for this to spawn floors where you just cannot get the key, period. I guess if that is the case, it would have to be unnecessary to be able to go in there, which is a lot harder to confirm, so... Regardless of whether or not it can, maybe it shouldn't. Mummies worth less? I think they are. Most of the enemies in these floors are worth 10 experience, 15 experience. But yeah, the mummies are only worth 5. Which, as you can tell, not a lot. Meanwhile, yeah, that makes me think that the... Yeah, I was gonna say that the skeleton mans, the boners here, they are worth a full 15. There's nothing untoward going on there. Maybe they just think that because the mummies are, like, super weak and they can respawn in exchange, they don't have to be worth very much. Which, alright, I guess. Sure. Excuse me. Whatever you say, guys. Whatever you say. Whatever helps you sleep at night. One thing you may have noticed, and this remains the case throughout the entire dungeon, there are no character-specific, like, floor traps or anything. You don't have to switch to a specific character at any point in order to make your way through here, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have the... We have the thing yet? And we do not. But there it is. Also, yeah, I'm really noticing a lot of weapon chests so far. Which is interesting on some level because there are indeed king mimics at some point in this dungeon. Various points, in fact. That battle axe, that is mostly a stat stick, but hey. We can put that to use for at least a couple of characters, I'm pretty sure. I think it has some interesting stuff on its third page. Second page is completely pointless, though. On the other hand, it does mean that we would have to lump this chuckle fuck around. Yeah, okay, it's extra stuff there. need that. Tone clearly does not need it. You're completely maxed on this, right? Yeah. You're like the last person who might actually need that topaz. Looks at things. Nope, nobody needs that thing, so I can sell it. That's fun. That makes for an interesting change. Selling a gemstone because it's become so useless to me. That does not happen very often. Usually them things are actually pretty good. But here we are. Oops. Forgot my inventory wasn't fully sorted at that point yet. Ooh, we got White Fangs here, so that's going to be a thing that Osmond can't fight, because I can't take the element off of his laser gun. I guess lasers are magical in this universe. Lasers are operated by pure magic. You heard it here first. Bizarre thing to... Maybe not that weird. Although... Is your spear already? Yeah. You've already got no element on it. So you can clean this guy up nice and fast. That spear stance did look a little bit funky, actually. I thought it was like holding it by the bottom end for a second. That's not correct. That is not what I was seeing. I mean, it's just very close. He's holding that thing up quite far. But he is giving it more of like a pole arm sort of stance, I guess. Pole arm swing, rather. I heard a noise there. Oh, is it? It's the thing in the hall. Your ability to hear stuff through walls sometimes is a little bit too much. It's a bit of an issue. Confuses me, first of all. Ow. That's fine. So we got blowed up a little bit. It's okay. That steel slingshot, I think, is genuinely worthless. I might actually just get chucked straight in the garbage disposal. Just like a fork. Wait. neat. Although, yes, I am definitely over here using an element that's not a great choice. That filled up. It's 106 right now, which is a rather unusual number. Maybe a flat 100. No, I probably wouldn't. It's fine, I've got an auto repair powder. I don't have to play well. I feel like I haven't used one of those basically through the entire game though, so hey, finally get a chance to shine. Ow. When I'm at a point of just don't fucking feel like it. Okay, fine, I will actually repair it. Never mind. That's enough of me being so incredibly thick. Now, the other got up. Oh, of course. And it's a robot, so it takes good damage from lightning, unsurprisingly. Meanwhile, I was gonna say, that guy doesn't take a ton of damage from thunder because the undead usually don't in this game, but we did do some decent damage nevertheless. Anyway, we got the key, but before I immediately just peace out, I am gonna go and look for the magic crystal, the compass, so that way I can go take a look at that back area and hopefully be able to find the chests quickly and just then fuck off. Okay, it doesn't look very heavily populated. This might be a... No, I just think there's not very many chests, actually. I was like, this doesn't look that heavily populated. It might be a mimic for... Might be a partial mimic room, but... Nope. It is instead not that. I didn't say that might be a problem, but... Hey, go away. I'm not interested in dealing with your shit. Yeah, it was a curse, right. Very strange, by the way, that the texts are completely different for the weapon chests here as opposed to elsewhere. Don't know what's up with that, but okay. fuck you, game. That's the one I need the least of. Come on. Literally, nobody can put that to use at this point. Yeah, we're getting thirsty, but whatever. That's fine. We can just zoom on out of here and I guess wait to use Osmond again until I actually have a real need for him, or I find a very early on the floor spring. I could actually use a water item, but I don't feel like it. Ew, using consumables. The hell is that about? Nah, I don't really. It's a good chunk of... I feel like I don't use stamina drinks that often. Actually, hold up. I want to take a look at the Crosshinder stats here. I mean, the basics already are reminding me very much of the other sword. I think it's worth keeping and breaking down. Let's pick that up and take a quick peek at everybody here and see what our most needed gem across all these weapons probably is. Ow. Something that gives... I guess maybe that'd just be like buy more aquamarines, because the amount of these fellas who just need to be able to kill fish better, shockingly high. Yeah, your thing is finished. Which is actually quite strange, because everybody has the quench ability now. Or at least they should all have. And that comes from a weapon that gives a lot of anti-aquatic. So that's a bizarre turn of events, basically. But hey, sometimes that's just kind of how things end up a little bit. It's very odd. Yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade that. On floor 8. I mean, I think I kind of commented on that before, but it definitely feels like we are slow rolling this a bit. Much more than I was hoping to, but I don't know if that's because I cannot resist just cracking open all the treasure chests, or what. Although if they're going to keep giving me back room keys, then it's going to be even harder to resist, man. Kidding me? Can't be doing this to me, game. Gonna cause me a problem. Blames the game for it for some reason. Now again, if we're going for grabbing all of the... If we're going to go explore the back area, we need to get the compass. Otherwise, things become an issue. Oh, he was going for a melee attack. I didn't even notice. Oh yeah, fat lot of good that block did. Is that because it was a projectile? Blocking in this game always feels kind of like something that doesn't have value. Wow, I'm playing like butt here. I thought for sure I'd be able to get that hit in, and nope. No good. It's no use, etc. We all understand the reference. Yeah, see, the jump slash does great damage on those guys. Though, part of that is just that Toan is very powerful, period. So, the fact that he can one-shot any of these enemies is kind of... It makes sense, because he was two-shotting all of them with the regular attack. Very nice. We'll be back this way later anyway, it seems. Fortunately, no fountain, so... No restoration for Osmond. That's a pity. Oh, that's a tiny bit of free money, I guess. In fact, I think everybody's ultimate weapons already have their magic stats maxed, which is interesting. Endurance and speed being maxed out, that's fair because they're always the same and they grow very fast. Ooh, nice get with that diamond. That is a very good thing to pick up. Beastbuster, I don't think I need that anymore, right? Because we have one of those for our boy here. Yeah, the one we need is a fish killer and a mimic breaker if we can get it to replace the one in there and possibly use the ruby elsewhere, or hell, if everybody else is already full on the goods, I could just use that to sell. There we go. I use my words here. Let's fill everybody's water, because I don't know where anybody's at, really, except for anybody who's been in the springs recently. Except that I knew that he was near empty, but it turns out he was completely empty. Wow. Wow. Oop, hey. Hold up, I want to see where that sapphire is useful. Sapphire gives wind, and it gives us, I think, sky is the other thing it gives, is the air killer status. And as you can see, nobody needs that right now. And yeah, the pearl is going to be reserved for use for somebody who needs lightning, I guess. Go pick up these 3 chests real quick, because we are this much in the area and we've already spent a lot of time in this place anyway, so screw it, why not? I almost kind of wish that this game recorded the total amount of time that you spent on a floor, just out of curiosity, right? I would love to know, especially for that one floor on the shipwreck, the one that we've been abusing the hell out of over the years. That would be nice to know about. Nice. Say, this amount of chests in here does make me think this is a potential mimic room now. Hey, hey, get down, get down. There we go. Stop that. Ah, my feather. Well, I guess it's nice to have just gotten another one very recently, so... Yeah. Oh, wow, I have 2 of those in reserve. That's... I wasn't even paying attention to that fact. That little statistic. That's pretty neat. There's another wolf in here. That's unfortunate. Wow. What a guy. Actually, hold up. You're maxed out, and... honestly, no, it's not worth doing that just yet. Not until we get all of those together. Unfortunately, the swap thing doesn't work for characters, it only works for weapons. But we get something out of the deal. Cool, I guess. Upgrade the Jackal again, and remember to equip the Supernova and then status break this thing. And we get to take a look at who could use this the most. And I think it's this guy, actually. Oh, is that only worth 1 point now? Ooh. Oh well. We're just giving him the raw stats. That's acceptable. Which means now I get to fight as him. Oh boy. Well, at least we were able to deal with that enemy decently. It's just weird because that movement pattern sucks. At least for this kid to deal with. We took one hit, but okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's somebody over there who's doing some fireballs. Oh, geez, that was really, really pushing our luck a little bit. But we synth with all that stuff in, and now we get to just start fitting this thing with a bunch of gems that don't necessarily do a huge amount for us. Make this pivot, because I don't really trust Goro to be good against the actually hard enemies. Ow. You know, as much as I would like to do more just like slow moving, peaceful, grinding type streams, I would kind of struggle with that because I don't necessarily always have the easiest ability at like getting the ball rolling with conversing and always being funny all on my own. I guess I could do more prep work for this, right? I could come in with pre-prepared bits or something. I often do sort of like just brainstorm things that I would say at the start of a stream. Or say throughout the stream anyway. You know, like, I'd say almost borderline stand-up comedy bits, but like, let's be real here. Stand-up comedians are definitely not really having the highest stocks right now. On sort of a concept level. I don't think people really like them too much, but then again, I suppose, what can you really expect there? I mean, George Carlin is dead and has been dead for almost 20 years. Holy shit. Lewis Black, I think, is retired. And a lot of the other ones are all either outing themselves as being assholes or are outing themselves as being assholes in very specific ways that make the content that they had before seem real bad. You know, like Louis C.K. And granted, that was fucking years ago now, but I'm pretty sure the guy's career didn't rebuild itself. Not even when he tried to pivot to telling jokes only for chuds. But it is a little bit hard to be the guy who's like, man, men suck, and then you get caught jerking off in front of somebody in your dressing room, right? Like, we can all laugh quietly to ourselves about like, oh, well, I guess he was trying to warn us, but I don't know, that's not particularly funny, and it doesn't feel great. Just feels kind of disgusting, really. So I guess that being deemed, doing anything that would make you be deemed to be like a stand-up comedian doesn't really feel like the route at this juncture, you know? Anywho, we get ourselves another sword. Wow, a lot of interesting swords to be picked up here, and we get an aquamarine. That's quite nice. In fact, it's so nice that I pronounced it with a very different accent from how I usually do. I have no idea why I did that, but hey, it's too late for me to try to explain that. And this just gives us some fish killing, which is great. Again, I need quite a lot of that for literally everybody here. Ooh, peridot. Those are good eatins. I mean, the main thing they give us in terms of stats is the fact that they give us holy and they give us a little bit of extra attack. But that's quite helpful anyway. And turquoise, which... Hey, there's our Mimic Breaker. Fuck yeah. Alright. Now, give me that thing back, Tone. Meanwhile, the turquoise gives us anti-mimic and something else that I do not remember. It's an ice elemental gem, though, so, like... As if I would use that, right? Yeah, I think Peridot is like plant and mimic or something, but more importantly for Goro, it basically gives us a lot of the stuff that we need on the other page of his stats. Yeah, that pearl can stay for now. find another use for it, I'm sure. I don't think anybody needs Undead Killer at this point, but a lot of folks need more Thunder to get themselves to perfect stats, so... Alright, up to the next floor. Another place for us to go into a back area. And then we can back out again and just keep doing that slowly but surely. I guess my goal at this point for the end of the stream is just to hit floor 20. I said floor 20, not 420. That's something different. Oh, hey, hey. Don't get stuck on these enemies. That would be a bad idea. I think he's trying to bite me through the treasure chest. No, he shot a fireball. Never mind. I heard it go. Enemy's very annoying with its weird movement patterns. A very big problem for us. Whoa, hey. Quick, put another revive powder on there. And equip the Brave Arc. Hey, that guy got poisoned. Plus, it seems to make the enemy just flinch randomly, so that's cool. Maybe I can just sort of go in a circle here and we'll get some free experience, basically. I'm not even going to try to hit it. I just want to see if it times out. And yeah, we got ourselves some nice free experience there. And a tiny bit of free money too, because you better believe I'm not in a position to actually put that item to use, the endurance buff. That thing does nothing for me. Ow. Now, an enemy like that, which has that much durability, especially if it's out here dropping endurance things, like it's just sort of telling you what it's going to be about. That's something you want to avoid comboing too heavily, because it's very easy to smack it and do huge damage to your weapon. Oh, that was badly played. That a bit less so, but only a bit. Get this guy. I said let's get this guy, not get punched in the face by him. That'd be a good idea to... God, you really just have to dodge that. And he's going ape shit here. Here, come on, do the other punch. And, like I said, that's why you want to be a little bit careful, because that'll happen. Jesus Christ! I hate these enemies so much. They're actually kind of the worst. It's also quite hard to, like, properly strafe around them when they're doing stuff like that. Also, if you have to go the other way for some reason, the arm blocks you after the swing. That's rough, buddy. Hey! Actually properly get in front of the chest. Yeah, sometimes the hit detection on that is a little bit not great, basically. Do I have the... I don't have the Black Knight seal. Fuck. Careful. Oh shit, that makes our life a lot easier. Yeah, I'm just gonna repair after that, because how annoying. Plus, we've got so many of them at this point. So many basic repair powders. We may as well. Okay, only 2 more enemies left to deal with in this area, and that is quite a lot that we've had to put up with just to get the key out of here. I'm saying it's this guy and there's a masked man there, I heard. At least I think that was the sound I heard. They have a fairly distinctive sound for when they close their mask. Yeah. There he is. Okay. After all of that being annoyed.
Walking into a room here with a Vulcan to start with. And there's all of 3 other chests besides the one that we got that gave us something that at least we can sell. But the rest, ooh boy. It's useless otherwise, and so is that. I'm almost glad in a certain weird way. And by that I mean, ugh. Game, please. Can I get something actually good here? I mean, that still, I think, has uses. Just not as many as it used to. And that is pretty nice. It gives us, again, anti-fish, anti-ice. Yeah. You get what I'm saying here, I think. Was somebody in need of... Yeah, it was you. You need that. You need Mimic Breaker? You do, in fact. So at least you can take advantage of some of this crapple and feel a little better about... feel a little better about that than just selling that shit. Dead killer, you don't need lightning. I was just checking to see if that pearl was useful right now, and for the moment, not quite. Alright, back we go. Back we go. Now we take the elevator and get blasted in the face by a fireball after it exploded. That's always sort of a thing that happens, and it feels very goofy whenever it does. Well, I guess technically we're not leaving with a full bag. I mean, that changes very little about the situation, but hey. Grab a couple of those. Might need more revival powders. I mean, I feel basically okay about that, but on paper, it's probably a little bit prudent to pick up a couple more. Probably. Yeah, let's grab 2 of those real quick. And before we do anything else in that shop. Let's take a look at the 7-branch sword here and see if this is worth dumpstering. And the answer is, quite honestly, no. It is not worth dumpstering. I should keep this and turn it into a sphere for a couple of the characters. There's like 2 characters whose elemental stats are not good. And both of them, I think, are Goro, so he could probably put that to use. Anyway, I'm here for that. Thank you. Okay, that only does that right, because that's... right. Yeah, so this is... honestly... yeah, I think at this point, rubies are basically just vendor trash, aren't they? Oh, no, you could use that. Although, I could just feed that thing some more diamonds and it would get there faster, because 83 is still pretty high. What about this? Do you need... you do not. And I'd be shocked if you could take advantage of this. Yeah, absolutely fucking not, dude. You gain 0 value from that. So, hey, kind of nice to be able to do stuff like that. Makes me feel like we're kind of getting somewhere if we're in a position where we can actually just kind of chuck certain gems down the thing. And up we go. Onto floor 11. So we're only halfway through this section. It's a bit of a shame, but hey. You say these guys have weird movement patterns, but you can't just let them walk up to you. Walk being the word in air quotes here. Because, yeah, you call that walking. I'm walking here, etc. I'm Christopher Walken here. With its 0 legs. Very helpful to grab our compass. Our compass. Our compadre. That's a little silly. We get one of those. Excellent. That'll let us get out of this dungeon as a little bit faster. As a little bit faster, yes, listen. I am not great at words or speaking them in the moment, but hey. Grab that.
Oh, yeah, don't forget to actually do the SB so that way you can put the thing somewhere. Think this through, you fool. Yeah, and that's just to max out those things, so... Well, time to get out the guy who sucks to play as, because, honestly, we may as well see about trying to get him leveled up again. Because then I can concern myself with upgrading the 7-branch sword, which will also be going to boost the Inferno, which is the main weapon that needs the wide amount of elemental buffs. As I try to say buffs and boosts at the same time. As always, there I go again, trying to say 2 words at once. And the end results are go over about as well as you would think with that. Whoa, hey, fuck! Getting pinched here. Don't like that. Could you give me a fucking second here, guys? I basically almost need more revival powders already. That's cool. I do enjoy that. Oh, the dragon is a little bit more dangerous, I think. Yeah, he's got projectiles. Meanwhile, this guy just punches a bunch. You know what? Here, let's use some chicken and disable that. So that way we can actually hit this thing. Assuming that it doesn't decide to block every single one of my fucking attacks because Goro is worthless. I gotta take like 1,000,000 years to swing. Well, that was annoying. I don't like playing against these characters, you probably noticed, but I am kind of committed to getting everybody's weapons maxed out if I am able, because in theory, any of them might have use in the future. It's really getting to a point where I kind of just want to go into the back room in the shipwreck just to mine power-up powders to make some of these easier. Oh, that's very good for us to find. Provided we're going to just find just a random item. May as well be something as useful as that. Alright, well good. I see where there's a spring, so we can go over there and we can heal. No need to do that. I love their, like, very human-sounding screams when they die, those enemies. Just kind of sounds like just a guy who was a little bit tired from having to do all the Foley art at that point. It was just like, well, fuck it. That's just a dev sound, you know?
Alright, we got some dumpster wolves here, because of course we do. And by some, I mean one, but hey. I'm not keeping a close count here, honestly. Up the ice element. Oh yeah, there's plenty of enemies still for me to deal with. I think I just ignored all of them for a bit because I'm in this position of like, hey, I decide to get myself annoyed here. Yay, another free 150 gold. That makes up for like 1/10 of the amount that I need to pay for the replacement revival powders from this floor. So that's nice, I guess. Ah, yes, and dumpster wolf here. Ass man. Repair. Now I have to disable attributes again because, yeah, this guy. Oh, right. I realize now why I had all of those big bucks hammers still in storage instead of having finished those out, is because I was looking for trial hammer for everybody so that way I could get them the absorb up ability. Go for the enemy that's least annoying to fight as Goro. And hooray! Now I don't have to use him again for a while. Okay, double check that everything's in place. Yeah. And very nice. All he's missing now are stats and elements for that thing. So we'll work on this, because this will give him some of both of that. Right? Yep, after killing literally everything on this one floor. I think the game doesn't want me to meet my goals. It wants me to go, don't forget you're here forever. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Eesh. How could I with how this is going? This doesn't look like a good floor for our melee characters, to be honest with you. Wow. This enemy group is shit! Jeez! As of course that guy was blocking the asshole robot, because obviously. In fact, at this point, basically everyone is, so I should probably kill them all before I try to take the final hit on this. Which it should just be one more hit, right? Say I might even be able to... Yeah, not enough damage for that thing. I was hopeful, but, you know, need a little bit more than hope to get there. But, there we go. Finally dealt with. Very nice. Plus, we poisoned the skeleton, which makes sense. But also didn't end up being of any real use to us. But hey, you can do it. So that's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something apparently. Oh yeah, I should probably put another revival powder in my meter here. Alright, back we go. Alright, we got mummies alive here, and they are giving us 0 experience, basically. Not literally, but close enough. There's our key out of here. Very nice to not have to kill literally everything for once. One last item here, and then we go back. Just had to make sure there was, you know, anything good, right? See if there was anything good, I guess. I don't know. However you'd like to actually phrase that correctly. All right. Oh. I'm in the wrong shop right now, but that's fine. I'll fix that in a second. For now, though, oh my goodness, I do not need this much standard use repair powder, I don't think. Don't really need another escape powder. We'll just replace that if it comes up. This steel slingshot, like I said, that thing is worthless. We should just sell that. Is battle axe of any monetary value? Not really. So, meh. What's our, as you say, what's our gold bullion situation? Halfway decent. We use our auto repair powder. We've got another one at least. Like a feather. And on paper, I could just get another gem now, but I'm going to store up for a bit so that way I can go on a big raid there, basically, of spending on a fair chunk of them. Or again, just actually remember to fucking grind off camera. Main thing I never, ever remember to do for any game, so... Eesh. Alright. Dumpster dogs, let's deal with these guys the way that you always have to. Yeah, I guess I could have bought a Sea Killer while I was at the Fairy King shop. He has those. That might have been a smart play, but eh. It's fine. I'll get to it eventually. I'm not too tore up about it right now because we're not facing anything that cares about that right now. And we're at 98 out of 99. It could be worse. Total amount of extra DPS it's going to give me is probably not much. I like to ignore the wolf if I can. I hate having to keep equipping and equipping my attribute. Oh, no, I don't have one on right now, so that'll tell you how much I hate it. I wish there was a way to operate that part of the menu a little bit faster, but hey. Why would they do that, right? I would assume that Dark Cloud 2, aka Dark Chronicle, is a little bit more more advanced in a lot of these regards, but I don't know yet. I've never played it. Maybe someday I actually will. I have a copy. I bought it like 10, 15 years ago. Oh god, no, it was... Oh, jeez. I just realized that when I bought that was during a period when I was reading Homestuck as it was going up, so that's 15 years, possibly more. Yeah, I've had that for a long fucking time and I've never played it. You may be wondering if there's some sort of mental association going on there, and the answer is probably not. But who can say at this point? I sure can't. And I'm not here to psychoanalyze myself, not like that. Okay, well, the explosion literally right next to the fountain, extra useless. Ooh, a 5-foot nail. That is a pretty nice one to find. Very rare, and it always carries the ability critical, which has a chance to instant kill an enemy. Don't get too excited, Star Fox. It's not a very good chance, but it's a chance nevertheless. Actually, I kind of wonder if Twitch is, like, hiding my stream extra hard because of my title, which is literally the phrase, working the shaft. I can believe that they'd be like, yeah, that's not funny, dude. To which I'd be like, hey, don't refer to me as dude. I'm not here for that. You don't know me like that. You're just a website. And not necessarily all that good of one either. Oops. He just makes that whole gesture. He doesn't even do something normal like shake his head. I admire that on a certain level. Oh. My controller ran away. Oh yeah, now that we're not necessarily in Wolf City, USA here anymore, we should probably equip an element again, and we're going with ice in this case. It seems to work pretty good in this part of the area. Yeah, there's a bit of a problem in general, basically where just because of how damage is calculated, enemies that are immune to all elements just generally take much longer to kill. And that's the thing that kind of makes this even worse than anything else. Just, you've turned it into a very irritating little grind of a fight here. Cool. Thanks, guys. A lot of back and forth. And yeah, I hope you guys like menuing because, oh boy, the amount of it that I have to do for this. Well, I guess in theory, I could just not. Is this thing worth anything? It just seems to be just stats and not even any particularly good stuff on third page. So that's just more money in the bank for me, I guess. Turn that into something useful. Which is kind of nice. At least. That I can do something with it. Whoa, hey. That guy coming in from downtown here. It's alright. Now I have plenty of revival powders, so I can deal with that. Hold still! Nice. Alright, so we can do that. And hand that off to Goro's hammer. Which should put its stats pretty close to full, just not quite with the elements yet. Nevertheless, we can attach that. I just also don't want to fight with him right now. For reasons that should probably not be very surprised. Wow, that was badly played. Guy does that third kick. Well, that's alright. We're not too hurting for supplies in that regard. We definitely use more, but hey. Not exactly unusual for us. Okay, yeah, we don't have the floor key yet. Fine, just forget about fighting this guy for now. Go back and heal. So that way maybe I can stop embarrassing myself like wow, I was just stuck to him. I was hoping I wouldn't take the hit because I was in the middle of the chest opening animation, but that doesn't always work. It does feel like it sometimes does, at least, but not always. Oh boy. Pick that up. Nice. Let's grab that and bail. For a second, I thought there was another item there, but let's take the chests because they're literally right here. Good. Got another revival powder. You know what? The hell with it. Let's go get this other chest as well. Might be something good. It is a weapon crate, so it feels like the odds are significantly better. The Lamb Sword. That's an interesting one that you don't see a whole lot of. So the Lamb Sword is very special. It doesn't have great stats, but when it is near breaking, it gets massive buffs. When I say that it's interesting, I don't mean that it's good, by the way. I'll put that forward because, oh yeah, this thing is not great. Don't use this. But it is very interesting. I think that thing is just going to get fucking sold. Because at least the Crosshinder is worth something in terms of its, what it can do for us. Lamb Sword, not so much. It doesn't give us much in the way of any of our usable stats. Or stats that we're looking for on any real level. Nope. Alright. Alright, let's get Osmond out here, and I guess we'll have him fight so that way he can redistribute any of the experience that we get in this floor to something useful. Because Tone clearly cannot do that. Ooh, a cactus. Mmm, delicious cactus. Delicious pointy bits. And it has fragile. Well, fucking, I guess I can sell it at least. But that does give me a bit of an idea here. Let's have this fella lead the charge instead. Because that 5-foot nail could go to somebody who's in need of that ability. At least the cactus is sellable then, I guess. Like, huge pity that it's not that it has that effect, but at least then I can dump it on a shop for some money. It is worth reduced experience. Yeah, the card soldiers are worth only 10. That sucks. Those things are actually, like, kind of crappy to fight, so I would really have usually expected them to be worth more. Hey, Retro. Like, okay, sure, give the mummies no experience because they're butt, but these guys with their big lunge, I mean, I guess if I was using more ranged characters, then sure, but for using melees only. And plus they guard, so usually any enemy that guards is like just not a great time to fight with a ranged character anyway. Oh, fuck. Alright, now is a good time to actually remember to put that in there. And also, I should remember to go to the shop and buy some more of those after we're done here. Thought I saw something else of interest in here, but I'm wrong. Thankfully, we're at least getting into some good positions for these fights, so we haven't had to burn a bunch more revival powders in a second, which is always super embarrassing. The more of those I have to toss down the can. Yeah, I haven't fought an enemy that has a regular repair powder to steal for a second here either, it feels like. Alright, we're not interested in the build-up on this thing. And so we're going to walk over that just in case it's a free instant fill. Which, unfortunately, it was not. Whip our weird rusty metal thing here again. And we get our key out. That's fine. I want to go and check this one last chest real quick. I don't want to fight that shitty robot I hear in the background. Making its fucking saw noises at me, basically. Eesh. Hello, this noisy noise maker. Alright. Now, out we go. Now that we're inside these big metal doors, let's go talk to the Fairy King here and start dumping our stuff we don't need here. Probably dump a couple of those. Really don't need this many stamina drinks. Definitely don't need all of those. Damage items are not high priority. And as I said, we've got some items here that are worth selling. That lamb sword is worth a fucking fortune. Oh my god, that is great. I did not realize it was that valuable. The cactus, too, is worth a good chunk. Well, I will always welcome that sort of return on our investment. That should be enough repair powders for a minute. Alright. Let's take a quick look again at our requirements for any of these characters. And first of all, yeah, Xiao needs like fucking everything, dude. More importantly, we gotta remember to pick up a fish killer for Tone, or a sea killer, or whatever it's called. And the Babel Spear, pretty much just keep fitting this thing with diamonds, I guess. Oh, not gems, pardon me. So I want to go to attachments and pick one of those up. And yeah, note that you can't get the metal breaker or the mimic breaker items or whatever they're called here. The only two enemy type killer items that you cannot purchase from the Fairy King for some reason. I think you can't purchase them anywhere. You have to actually get them by blowing up the appropriate monster type with bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend. Etc. Although you look at how much money I'm spending on those gems. I'm surprised he's not more like, come back when you're a little, richer. Alright, so we're back to raising up weapons for Tone to break down to turn into some more boosts for a few characters. Because really just him and Ungaga. Well, I guess Osmond has that gun, right? Oops. I was animation locked there because I really overmatched the X button. It's okay, maybe somebody else will end up getting an item, getting a weapon on this floor or something. So is this the place where the mimics start showing up, or are they not until the next section of the dungeon, which we're really gonna have to wait on, because, I mean, yeah, we're gonna hit our target here, probably, but, man, this takes much longer than I thought it would. That's all I can say on that matter. But yeah, it's an amount of everything except for wind. Strangely enough, no wind on that. I don't know why, but hey. Pretty holy, though. That part's pretty healthy. Oop. I guess if we encounter a good amount more of the Nikapoos guys, which I guess it is an O in there, not a C, but because of the terrible kerning on the font, it's a little bit hard to read. Air. Whip. Nice, there's our key out of here, but of course we got the glass eye, so we're going to do a little bit more digging here. I guess we're going to have to find literally everything here, apparently. I'm perfectly fine with fighting these guys. Getting a little bit of extra experience for our weapon. Because again, we want to just like speed level this thing all the way up to +5. And if I could stop doing that to myself, because I get combo locked so easily. Okay. Yeah, we need that compass, because otherwise we're going to have a really annoying time dealing with the back area. Having to explore everything because of reasons. Man, that thing takes a while to break down, but I guess it kind of makes sense. That is a pretty deep evolution into the tree. The evolution tree for that weapon. If I recall correctly, anyway. Oh. Yeah, immediately see Dumpster Dog there, just waiting to dumpster me. This room is so far just looking to be a bit of a junk drawer for us. Nothing of great value. A little bit of cash, yeah, but I could probably make more selling the eyeball. Honestly. Honestly. Because I believe they're worth 700 apiece. Oh, hey, another ruby. That's worth 600, and we don't need the stats for, like, anyone's weapons anymore, so I can... Not those stats, anyway, so again, that's 1/5 of the way to getting something actually good. That's pretty neat. Alright, up to floor 18. So we've only got 3 more floors to go through before we've met the goal for the day. So let's see how fast we can pull this off.
Ah, good. I was worried I was about to get locked there. Alright, we got the jackass wolf coming in here. Fine, I'll disable that and let's go. That should get us, yeah, I was gonna say, that should get us exactly to +3 for this. So that's great. Hey, I wonder if we'll get to +5 on that weapon by the time we're done with our target set of floors today. Answer, knowing me, probably not. Knowing what I am allowed to get away with. Wow, he was real fast on that one. Put that in the pouch and... back in here we go. Anything good here? Ooh, the Scorpion. That is quite nice, because that gives us a poison ability that everybody might already have. No, they don't, because I didn't feel like dealing with the entire fishing minigame. So that's pretty good. That is a great get, in fact, for literally anybody on our team. It does mean I have to use this guy a lot more, though, to keep doing stuff with his gear. Wow, those guys take a lot out of you. Wasn't even noticing that at first, so... get that. Get our experience in the correct weapon. Cryptodoma. Oh, I see. I really do need to play FF6 again sometime soon, come to think of it. Cyan, Mr. Thau. It's alright. I don't necessarily expect too much on anybody. I don't necessarily expect anyone to pay too much attention, alright? It's there. Plus, that FF4 hack probably takes a lot of attention.
Can you leave the lunar subterrane? I'm sure you probably can, right? Because I'm just kind of thinking, is there much need to go to a shop after that? Take the... Okay, yeah. So I guess that's kind of sensible. Yeah, especially for anything post-game related. Okay, so we're going to put the seal in, and then we're going to leave the dungeon for a second just so that way I can get my HP back. Because then I don't have to bother looking for a place to do that. Plus, I feel like we gotta see the lobby at least one more time or something. I don't know. That. Let's turn on our ice element. It's not necessarily equipping anything more, but hey. That should get this thing to +4. Yep. And it needs 150 in order to max it. Oh, fuck off, dude. They brought these guys back here, because of course they did. So now I get to switch the attribute off of my weapon again, because these guys are really silly. And I'm cursed. Good. I've got a removal for that. There we go. Okay, for a second I was worried that they were not worth the full experience of enemies in this area. I feel like this game would be exactly rude enough to do that, wouldn't it? Whoa, hey, ease off there, buddy. We seriously didn't get that hit in? Are you sure? That's some funky hit detection. But apparently only in the middle of that animation. Which makes it even weirder, ultimately. Oh, I hear a big stupid asshole back there. And with no key to the next floor, I'm gonna have to take a chance at it, because I don't know if this guy is going to be required to fight or not. There, we timed that very nicely to get around his block. Which is usually a thing that's a huge problem. Alright. Alright. Let's get back into not having such a pain in the butt time here. Oh yeah, remember to equip lightning to fight these guys. Well, there's our key, so I don't even have to bother with the rest of that. Unlock. I don't want to fight this guy. He smells bad. Unfortunately, I do already have my thing unequipped, so let's just do it. He's in front of us. Oh, and one last item coming in here. Yeah. Take that guy down. And thankfully, he actually gave us chances to land 2 very easy hits there. That was not exactly the best played I've ever played. I could have done that better. And dismantle that thing. This... Right. Yes, that makes that ruby even less valuable now, honestly. I could... Gotta remember to just sell those, because they don't do a ton anymore. Alright, well, back we go. To take the elevator up and go on to the last floor that we're doing today. Alright, remember to press the correct button. Today. Alright. Plan out how we're gonna deal with this. And we do have ice equipped on the spear already, so... Thankfully those guys are extremely easy to land a hit on. Apparently they only take 1 hit to die. That's better than I thought in terms of fighting them. See, but this dude probably requires our whole combo. Only 2 hits. Irene, thank you very much for the raid. We're getting quite close to the end of our stream, admittedly, but hey, that's just how it goes. Thank you anyway. I appreciate it, and I hope what you were streaming, I hope that went well. I missed what it was. I assume Link's Awakening randomizer still. Oh, thank goodness. He went for another attack. So, yeah, free hits. Wow, that's incredible. Sometimes the game will actually just do something useful-ish for you. And although all I can say is don't get used to it, because any of my experience with randomizers, yeah, they love to be problems. Constantly. Oh, jeez, that's rough. That is. I've had a couple of seeds like that in various randomizers. That's curse trap. That's slightly unfortunate, but I can fix that. That was really not worth the effort that I put into getting that, unfortunately. That definitely sounds like kind of a lot, is the main thing that I can say there. Ooh, boy. They were definitely... The randomizer definitely fed you a seed that wanted you to really do some fucking work. Wow, that's... Alright, well, there's our key out of here, and I don't feel like fighting the annoying, noisy robot, because I don't want to be wasting more repairs, because, yeah, that's slightly irritating. Oh, off we go! Oh, wrong way. Well, that's not so bad, aside from the parts that were really awful, but hey. Alright, that's 20 floors. So that's the first area of this place finished. We've got to go through another 80 of those, and I will definitely be trying to get to a point where I just sort of rush them down a little bit harder, because the enemies are just going to get more painful in a wide variety of ways. But before we wind things down, or I guess to help us wind things down, as the case may be, let's come in here and dump some of our stuff that we don't need. And recollect a couple of other supplies here and there. Those... We should have enough if we sell a little bit of our not so valuable items here. Start off by picking that up. And once again, have a quick browse of everybody's gear in terms of what it's doing stat-wise. And I think that you could probably use a sapphire above anything else here, because I think everybody else is kind of locked up at the moment until I actually start upgrading their weapons again. But for now, yeah, just do that, and you're gonna save. And hey, maybe this time I'll actually remember to do off-camera grinding in order to get
some of these weapons in better shape. 100 floors of this level. This is going to take absolutely forever.